Hello, Machis. Welcome to Crypto Tamil Sangam. I'm your CryptoMachi. Today, we are going to see a video based on fundamental analysis, which is quite interesting one, which is called as Fear and Greed Index. As the name suggests, this indicator clearly specifies the market sentiment, whether the market is it in fear or the market is in greed or euphoric state, or probably the market is in a dull or neutral phase, right? Now, how this indicator is going to be useful. So, there is a famous saying by Warren Buffett: when there is fear or blood in the street, that's when you buy. And the opposite, when there is a greed in the street or market, that's when you exit, right? Which means when the market sentiment is very bad and people are in so much of fear state that they want to save whatever they have left because the market is so bad and they want to exit, perhaps that's actually a good time to enter the market. Again, not enter at one shot, averaging in constantly when the market is in fear mode proves to be a very good strategy. In fact, smart money does that while the retail or the dumb money do the opposite. That's why whenever there is fear in the market, dumb money exit the market right, left, and center, whereas the smart people or smart money, they will slowly get into the market. And the opposite is also true. Whenever there is a greed or the market is in euphoric state, that everyone talks about skyrocketing numbers to the moon and stuff, right? That is the time perhaps we should start averaging out and slowly exit the market and take profit. Again, smart money does that while the retail or dumb money does the opposite. That is the time they will FOMO in, which means fear of missing out. They already missed out a lot of moments, and now the FOMO kicks in and they start buying in, right? Because they feel that the market is going to go skyrocket to the moon. And that's the time where the smart money will slowly exit and dump their bags to these folks. So let's see this indicator with some data points, right? So for that, just go and search Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index in Google and pretty straightforward. The very first link, that is alternative.me, that link is the one. Just go to the link and ignore the ads. Right. So now you could able to see there is a scale from 0 to 100, right? And of course, it's a straight through process. Zero or the lower scale means so much of fear, and 100 or late or high 80s or 90s, which means there is a high greed, and in between space like 30, 40, 50s, 60s, all these are like neutrals, right? So typically 50 is a neutral, zero is like the worst fear, 100 is the very unimaginable greed, right? So that's the scale we have, right? So now this awesome platform gives us the quantifiable ways to measure the greed and fear, right? So now, as of now, the market is in greed, which is like not a huge greed. The quantitative scoring is 63, which means it's slightly above 50, right? So 50 is the neutral one. So we can also see how it fares or the trend, right? So currently it's 63, yesterday it was 60, last week 61, last month it was 50 neutral, which means like from last month to now, the positive sentiment is arising, right? And it keeps updating every day. So now again, the next update will happen in next 17 hours, right? So how this Mm, what is the logic to measure? Or probably not so important, but just to have some understanding. So they consider volatility, volume, social media sentiments, surveys they do, but currently they have not, I think they have passed it. So the dominance factor, the trends, and all those things put together is how they quantify this number from 0 to 100. So now let's take the data points that will, as I told, this actually helps in, arriving at our strategies, whether to buy or sell, right? So we have data points from 2018 Feb. We don't have it right from inception of Bitcoin from 2009 or 10, but still it's fine. So 2018, last 5 years data is still pretty good. Now, let us see some historical fear levels, right? So probably the thumb rule or a safer strategy here would be whenever the fear score or the fear index drops below 20, which means the fear is very high, that could be a perhaps it could be a good time to slowly average in. And whenever the score or the data goes below 10, that could be a very awesome opportunity to go aggressive in. And the same goes opposite. So, which we'll talk about greed in some time, right? So, let's say now take looking at the data. So, from March 2018 till Feb 2019. So whole 2018, it's the whole thing is like, there's a very good opportunities that we could see below 20 with a fear, right? Now let's go back to the chart of Bitcoin and let's see March 2018, right? So February, March 2018, right? So, yep, I think this is the area. So this is the area where we could have averaged in. Definitely, you know, there's a huge 50% drop that we see for that. But it's always better, now on hindsight, we know that, yeah, this is not as good level as this. But on hindsight, we can say that. But on real time, no one can able to, guess that. We can just speculate. And it's always better to, you know, be prepared for all scenarios. What if this hadn't happened and it was shot here, right? So you would have placed, right? That's simple as that. So I think this is a good spot, decent spot, because compared to the high that we had here, so if someone has bought here, definitely would have been happier, right? So coming back to the fear and greed index, now in December, November 2018, we had below 10. So going back to November, December, yeah. So this is a place below, the fear was below 10, and of course we would have catched it, right? So we could have slowly averaged in here when it was 20 to 10. Fear was 20 to 10, between 20 and 10, and when it's below 10, we would have also captured here the absolute bottom, right? So now let's go back. Yeah, this is kind of a no blinder. Like, so this is like the COVID crash, March 2020. So COVID crash, of course, it fear was, kind of frightening. Yeah, so definitely that was in hindsight, it was a very good spot to, enter the market, right? And now if we see recent, so in June we had gone below 10, right? So which is actually my technical bottom. So 70.5. So this is the area. Technically, the fear was very high. So it's a good spot, you know. According to me, still it's a very good spot. So I have actually entered, average in here, right? And I have no regrets till now because from 17,500 when the Bitcoin was, and compared to now 28 and the future perspective of a bull run, I'm pretty happy that I have entered here. All right. So that's about fear part. Now, if you just go to the greed, I think it's kind of a contrary opposite. Like, so how when the market is in fear below 20, it's a good time to average in. So probably the market when the market is in greed, so above 70, 75, 80s, I think it's a good time to start averaging out and take profit. And when the market is above 90, I think it's a very good time to exit aggressively. Probably that marks bottoms, sorry, that marks tops of the cycle. We can validate that. So here, yep, if you see June of 2019, that was somewhere here, June 2019. So that marks the midterm top, right? And I said definitely a good spot to exit, right? Coming back, let's say these are the space February, later part of 2020 and early part of 2021. So Feb 2021. So yep. So Feb 2021. So this is a spot again. From this is a spot we would have averaged out slowly. Okay, not definitely not a bad spot to exit. Looking at the hindsight. So if you have exited here, so you had a very huge discounted price that you can re-enter. As I told, this was heavy greed place. You would have exited, and here it was a place where it was below 10. Heavy here, right? So you could have entered, which means like you would have exited about 50,000, 60,000, and you could have entered in 17,000, 18,000, which is awesome, right? So yeah, this is how this indicator helps. This is kind of a counter in signal, I would say, right? Which means like it's kind of counter indicator, which means whenever there is a fear in the market, it's time to enter in. Whenever there's a greed, probably it's a good time to exit, right? Why I say counter is because whenever the market sentiment is fear, which means that it's not good, right? But typically that is a time where most of the people were like move out or they exit, right? Because they want to safeguard whatever they left because the market mindset is like that where we will be fearful that it's going to go even another 30%, 50% down. So we wanted to, at least safeguard whatever the current portfolio is, right? And so people exit. But that's the retail or the dumb money. Whereas the smart money, so this is like dumb money. So dumb money will do this during the fear, while the smart money they will enter in, and the opposite holds for greed, right? The dumb money will enter in homo kicks right? Which means like when the market has already been, moved quite far, and the market is euphoric. People will talk about it's going to moon, it's going to Mars, it's going to skyrocket, going to 10x more. But the truth is, it has already had a very pretty decent or probably awesome move, and the major part of the move has already been missed, right? But still, because of the sentiment that is euphoric in the market, the dumb money, they will start getting a FOMO, fear of missing out. That they will be like, oh, I already missed this, but now I don't want to miss it. And they will enter in thinking that it's going to go even further beyond. But this is how dumb money gets entrapped. And what smart money does, smart money exit, slowly exit, and they dump in the dumb money, right? So that's how that human emotions work, and it's fascinating that human emotion works on the clock every single time, and for years and decades and centuries human emotions are kind of predictable because the fear and index is always cyclical, sorry, the fear and greed is always cyclical, and so is the market. So with that we will conclude today's video about fear and greed index. I hope this was helpful to you, and you have gained some knowledge, some interesting stuff that might help you in your strategy. So if you find this video valuable and helpful, please like and share this video. And if this is the first time you are visiting my channel, I highly request you to subscribe. And there are lots of content that is being generated in this channel, which makes yourself self-sufficient with the basic hygiene concepts of blockchain cryptos, technical analysis, fundamental analysis, price analysis. So that this will be a one-stop shop kind of a thing where come here, subscribe, spend some time and understanding the basic concepts which I've explained in a whiteboard in a very, very simplistic manner so that you will be well equipped over the course of time to be self-dependent and self-sufficient and not be in the mercy of some videos, including me, and just take a decision based on others who claim to be an expert. You try and become an expert. That's the self prophecy that you can fulfill so that you can start pursue your dreams of whatever you wanted to achieve. With that, I'll conclude today's video and we'll meet you in another set of videos. Until then, Valga Tamil, Valarga Crypto, Velga Financial Freedom. Thank you.